Alright, folks, welcome to Damn! Bro, I'm clapped. I am clapped. That's the first thing I see. Holy shit. Damn. I still get bitch. I don't get no bitches. Alright, chat, let's lock in. Alright, so welcome to a market recap. It's as well as a missed trade recap because I missed a trade. I'll tell you guys why. And I made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. I did make a mistake. All right. I had some dumb thing in my mind. I thought, okay, which we're gonna talk about. Stay tuned for that. The market is currently going our way direction, but our take profits overall. It's not even this high, by the way. It's first of all this and this. This is just visual. As you guys know, I barely go for the daily because I'm very when the setups I take. You guys know we're very confident on the setups we take, and unfortunately, we're like, if you're confident enough, why you take the trade? I will tell you guys the reason, right? This is my journal, and I will tell you guys why, right? And I made a mistake on that. I'm supposed to be in the trade, but keep in mind, it's trading, right? I'm so focused on supporting my trading guideline rules that I don't want to break it at all, right? I don't want to break it an inch. And yes, people were like, yo, bro, yesterday you did the wrong type of alignment. All we talked about it. During that time, I didn't break my trading guideline rules because last time when I had that setup was during this time where my boss was wrong. This time when my boss was correct. And I found out, okay, both bias don't really matter. They both need to have the right type of alignment. So we made a mistake on that day as well. We made a semi mistake, which that mistake I needed to know because it was constantly coming in my mind. Should I be using that advanced entry? Should I be using it? Should I be using it? This trade happened at the wrong. This trade happened when my boss was wrong. This setup happened. This setup right here is the right setup, and I have to find out. Okay, at either of them, you have to use the right type of alignment. 4 hour to 15 minute, 1 hour to 5 minute. It can't be. If there's a 4 hour and a 1 hour CRT, I go for a 4 hour CRT only because higher time from high power, 4 hour to 15 minute instead of 4 hour to 5 minute, right? And people wonder, like, this is just to make sure. And yes, I am losing money on it, but come on, man. I have sales, a business. I don't care, right? I'm currently, and my goal is to to become a broker on a life insurance, so I can give you more, so I can be a little bit more flexible. Because what I'm doing right now is not that flexible. Broker is basically like, the broker of trading. You provide, insurance, stuff like that. Same to trading, right? You let the customers, trade and stuff like that. The same thing as trading, but the only part is life insurance, right? It isn't really trading related, but it's the same concept. And it's a little bit more cheaper, right? Cheaper side, because if you have like a broker, you need to provide with liquidity, with all of these, expensive stuff, which I will provide, right? I'll definitely, right? Without that, what would you want to do that for? And you can't even start it without that. Keep that in mind, because we got to get, if you look at the government have to look at you, right? The government have to look at you, especially around here, even for the life insurance. If I want to be a broker, it's gonna be primarily USA. And I need to get licensed with every single state, right, in order for me to become a broker, which I'm only licensed with 16 states right now, which I'm trying to get more. But that right there is a hot spot. I just want to go over my script. It's literally the same thing as trading, right? I constantly read my script over and over. I bring new objectives. I try to find a way to kill objectives and get to the sell, right, rather than fucking yapping like this. Right, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's just yapping. But it's a quick little lesson to you guys, right? But we're gonna talk about the setup which we missed. Which this setup was a double bottom total soup, and you can see double bottom. And how do I determine a double bottom? The way I determine a double bottom is by it either having SMT or having or it taps the ration block. Otherwise, I can't count it as a double bottom. If I wonder, well, like, when it's a double bottom, aren't those equal lows supposed to be safe for later on? No. those equal lows, those double bottom like this, are liquidity pool. They're enough liquidity pool in order for them, in order for the market to move in our direction, right? So that's all it is, right? It's generating liquidity pool, and we want the liquidity to get purged rather than have SMT. And this is Romeo's third drive. And forgive me for saying, let's keep it professional. Romeo likes this a lot. He's a double top, double bottom purge. It's his favorite turtle candidate, which you could tell why. Right, Paul, when the price action was very iffy. That was supposed to happen. When you're right, price action is gonna be like this, right? Next week it come down, stop us out, but guess what? These trades have been working out perfectly fine. So you're gonna face losses, right? This could gonna lose. This could gonna win. It doesn't matter. All that matters, you execute a trade. Although we didn't execute a trade, we learned, right? I learned a very important lesson today. And I learned about the bottoms, the tops, third drives, right? This is the Romeo calls this the third drive. So fake double top, double bottom, then third drive, then this is the third drive, right? Basically, right? The fake double bottom and third drive. What I call a third drive for me is different, right? For me is something like this. Let me show you guys what I mean by my third drive. So my third drive is it's the same concept, but it's a different variant, right? The same thing, right? Regardless, it's a third drive, right? First drive, second drive. This is just a different variant of the top of the third drive, right? This is the more of a cleaner variant. Double bottom with equal lows left down, right? Without this equal low pushing out the other equal low. And let me go and show you guys here. So the one I'm talking about is like this, right? So this is there's two different variants, by the way. Keep that in mind. There's the first variant where you get lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is the first drive, second drive, third drive, right? Eventually you expand, go to your direction, etc., right? So for this one, the first drive always has to be the CRT low. I obviously you guys know. Second drive happens, and in the second drive, if the CRT low is not valid low, he will do this again. You go back down. But if it's a valid low, what could happen potentially if it's not the right time to purge? You go back down, right? Let's just say right time to purge, valid low, market can still go down and do a third drive and go up or go away from it, right? That's why it's Turtle Soup is a little bit better than trading, model 1 confirmations, right? We read the model 1 confirmation and what do you call it? What's the next one called? The registration block entry after the model confirmation. This may happen to you, may get stopped out, but you could lessen the chance of you getting stopped out if you just wait for the time and there being a valid low. Valid low basically means there being enough liquidity pool, right? That's all that means, right? That's all it is. That's the third drive I'm talking about, right? And I also talk about this third drive as well. So the next third drive he talks about is this. There's two variants. There's only two variants, right? The first variant is this, second variant is that, right? First variant, the second variant is this. They're both high probability. They're very high probability. So the second variant would be like this, right? The market would go up, go up, down, up. It would make a double bottom, thinking that would be like that's like a equal lows. And the market will scoop right back down. Then eventually, boom, go back higher, right? Eventually close. So range, double bottom, right? Two equal lows, soup out the equal low, and go up higher. But when they were like, you don't want equals to get souped out because there's an SMT or a type of resistance block. So does the resistance block leave out the lows not getting souped or SMT not letting that low get souped? Yes, but this is a lower time frame. This is for like lower time frame execution. You want it to get souped rather than letting it SMT. And the higher time frame, yes, cool. You can, the resistance block could prevent the soup from happening. But the lower time frame, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, you want these to get souped because they're not a higher different key level. If it's a higher different key level resistance block, cool. Higher different SMT level, cool. But if it's a lower time frame, You want this to get soup in order for you to execute a trade, right? Simple as that. Now let's get straight into the whole reason why we're bullish. We obviously, I said in my last video, we had a 3-month open high low close concept. Open, low, we're gonna make the high and eventually close, right? You can see we have 1 month and 15 days left. That's a lot of time. That means the monthly time frame, we have a monthly CRT to the upside, right? A monthly CRT to the upside. We first month accumulate, second month manipulate, third month get expansion and close. That's what we had in our weekly time frame. And a monthly time on the 3-month time frame, keep in mind we have a lot of time. We instantly drop down. That means the lowest place. So now the next thing that's gonna happen is gonna make the high, right? Then close. Weekly time frame, what do we have here? Weekly, we have on the monthly time frame, open high low close concept as well. We open, make the low instantly. Usually, as you guys know, when NFP is on Friday and it's on the if NFP is on Friday and it's the first day of the month, it will usually make the high or low of the month instantly on the first day of the month. If it's NFP and if the NFP is on the first day of the month, right? Keep that on my quick little sauce. It's been happening like that a lot of times. It will happen again, right? I don't doubt anything that happened in the past. And I like, that it won't happen in the future. I never doubt it. Right? It always happens. Right? History always repeat itself. We had a weekly IRL back to weekly ERL. Why over this to this week ERL? Because of the retracement block play. We first established a block, we retrace, then eventually we target the wick. The weekly to the upside. On a daily time frame, we have a classic expansion profile to the upside. Money low of the week. We at Thursday we came way too low, and market can't close within a candle. You need to close like as a classic candle like this. Other way it can't close, right? So we had a daily to the upside. That's what we were about to take a trade, and that's all we had here on the daily time frame. We had a wick below. We're like, okay, we're gonna take a trade on the 4-hour time frame. We had a New York situation. We had no New York OTE here. This is how you guys know. This is how you guys know when to avoid, know when to wait for OTE and know when to not wait for OTE. In this case, you wouldn't wait for OTE because the agent should never soup or the analyst should never soup a CRT, so there's no New York OTE. It's gonna be a continuation. So on the 4-hour time frame, we had an overall bullish order flow. This is a fake market to the downside because it never tapped the 150 level, so it was a fake market shift. Now that's going to be followed by a explosive price move to the upside. Oops on that. So what else we had here? That's all we had. Lower time frame, our key level was a sell side liquidity, right? It's fair value gap, and its other inversion fair value gap, as well as our other sell side liquidity was this 450 low. Our key level, our CRT, was overall this bearish candle. Although you see with the high first, we're still valid because it's still in the range, so it's still valid, and this is still a big range because the range is still valid here, right? If it were to be like, let's just say you still at the low, and let's just see the higher time frame, and we get another range, but it's a bigger range there. On that smaller range that we're using, we're gonna be executing on that, right? If the bigger range is in play, like we're right on it, we're just gonna focus on a bigger range without focusing on the lower range, right? So that's what we had on the higher time frame. Our CRT was overall the 6 a.m. candle still. Although the 7 a.m. came around, 8 a.m. came around, that 6 a.m. was still our CRT. Because he never disrespected it, he always put inside the range, so it's still valid. So this is the range just to mark it off. Okay, if we close above that, we could use a new range. But if we didn't close above it, so we can anticipate it's come back down lower. So this we had over here. We had a double bottom. How do we know the double bottom? Because he did a retracement block, and you guys know, SMTs and retracement blocks, they don't let the lows getting taken out. But what they do is they get used later. They retrace to it later, which they retrace to it later, right? It's in a 5-minute time frame. They retrace very quick, right? So on a lower time frame, so we had low double bottom. So right when you got first, I'm instantly looking for a trade, and I went down to a 1-minute time frame. Hey, this was a new candle, by the way. So I was like, damn, the bear grip block is very far away. The aura is in there, but I'm still gonna take it if it taps it on the right time without disrespecting the CRT. which it did respect the CRT, and I'll show you guys why I didn't take it, and that's why I made a mistake. Should have taken it. So what we had here was after that purge. This is, as you guys know, the way I trade the 1 minute time frame on the double tops, double bottoms, or whatever they're called. You know, the third drive is is by having a 1 minute breaker confirmation. And Paul wonder, well, like, where did I get the breaker confirmation from? From who? I got this from Romeo himself. Because if you see his recent silent trade breakdown, he talks a lot about excuse me for my speaking. I don't know why it's like that, but we're gonna fix it up. The reason why trading the breaker instead of the model 1, the market could constantly go down lower, and a breaker is the biggest and the best and the strongest key level out of all the key level, because it requires purges, it requires a close above, it requires it to get tapped, right? So it requires a lot of things, right? So this is the high that broke the low. Now we close above the high that broke the low. Now we're waiting for the Christian block to get tapped. He got tapped, and eventually we're looking to long it up from here on forward, which you can see it rallied. But when we're like, market isn't going our way, keep in mind, even if this goes on loss, it's beautiful because you've had so many winners. All of the winners didn't participate in them. It's simply because of backtesting. No, not backtesting, it's because we're still learning. And from now on forward, I fixed everything. I constantly keep on saying I fixed everything. Now I truly believe everything should be fine. We fix our bias, and as you guys know, you should always constantly seek improvement. I can't just say I fixed everything and just expect to not learn anymore. You have to constantly keep on learning, right? Constantly. So yeah. Now on the breaker, it went above. It got tapped, but keep in mind when it got tapped, it literally didn't even give me a second. It's like to enter the trade because it tapped it like in less than a second. It tapped it in a way. I was like, there's literally no way for me to take it. We can see a pretty good, strong reaction. As you guys know, breakers are the strongest key level out of all of them. That's why I'm entering that in the 1 minute time frame. That's the strongest confirmation. And why am I entering? And another way, why am I entering that? Is because of Romeo. Because I see his total two trades. He takes the breaker as an entry in the 1 minute time frame when he's entering a total soup. His favorite candidates are the double bottom, double top, third drive. So yeah. And if you want to see his breaker entry in the 1 minute time frame, go check his recent high RR silent trade recap from Romeo, from his course. He will tell you. You can see he took a 3 drive as well as a 1 minute entry on the breaker, which was beautiful, and a lot of people could have profit out of that, and that's you could have executed a trade, right? Because if it goes down, if it goes down, I don't know how much it's gonna go down lower. So I wait for a confirmation, and that's the confirmation. In this case, the confirmation was kind of pretty wide because news, but sometimes it would be down here, sometimes it would be over here, sometimes it would be all over here. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that we enter the trade and execute it. So now let me tell you guys why I didn't take the trade. And when the market came back down lower, I wanted to take it, but I was like, the CRT in the early time frame got disrespected here. Right, the CRT got closer above, so I was like, he got close above. I'm gonna wait until the market closes, then I'm gonna decide the lesson, because I can't just do a pre-amateur adjustment. I should have definitely executed it because that's the only way to learn is by doing, right? But in this case, we preserve capital for another opportunity. So on the 1 minute time frame, when he got tapped, he instantly didn't even give me the reaction to me take a trade. I was literally waiting. I was like, I said in my mind that I want to wait for a deeper dig, right? Because I thought that the market, when it tells me, the reason why I want a deeper dig, because deeper dig into the key level is because I thunk that the market needs to accumulate accumulate first before it goes off. But keep in mind, market just spreads out liquidity, spreads out all these liquidity. That's already enough liquidity. This is just, you should have just executed trade because you have already, it's already, you have already accumulated enough liquidity here. So you went up. I was like, that's the excuse I made. The market didn't generate enough liquidity, so I'm waiting for it to get tapped back without it disrupting CRT, and it disrupted CRT, and it came back down. We should have entered this trade because we should have already been in trade. If we take a loss, it's all fine. So, and what happened was, when that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm not the kind of close market that got disrespected. So I just got a chart and eventually went on my day. And I thought I was a smart ass. I thought that, the market didn't accumulate enough without me realizing that the market just spreads out liquidity. It gave the 5-minute model confirmation. How is that enough? It's not enough. I'm entering the 1 minute time frame. The 1 minute time frame is not going to accumulate. It's not going to, accumulate 1 minute. It's not going to accumulate 1 minute time frame. Accumulate one freaking 1 minute order block or breaker block to accumulate to go off, to go off. So I made a bullshit excuse, which we learned from. So now, yeah, that's the lesson. The lesson is very simple. Right when it gets tapped, know where the market price is, we enter the trade. Second is a tap of the key level, although it's same price point, it's still fine because you tapped it. Because when I enter my trade, before I even enter the trade, I need liquidity pool to be taken out, which that's already enough for the market makers, right? Because they already took so much liquidity, that's enough for them to push it out. So the lesson is very simple. When I'm entering a trade, even if it's the same price point tap, it's not a deeper dig below the price point tap, because for a total soup, you usually want it to go below it and rather than the same price point to get a total soup, but it's not a total soup. And the higher time it is, but the lower time frame is a breaker, right? So the lesson is, I can, right when it tests the price point, right when it tests the key level, they even test the same price point, we can enter the trade. If it goes out of the price point, and let's just say with our CRT, it goes above it, now we know it's long, it's supposed to be in the range. Then if it goes back down to my entry, we're supposed to enter, although I missed it at the first time where it tapped the Pacific, where it tapped the breaker, we could re-enter it, right? Because it's supposed to already be in. The second lesson is we could trade double tops, double bottoms, and if the double top, double bottom doesn't have a bad high, better low, I have to look for repurchase, right? And a double top, for a double bottom or size double top, I don't know how you guys call it. I mean, for the double bottom for me or double top, the double bottom or double top needs to have a better high, better low. If it doesn't have a better high, better low, I'm looking for a third drive to basically soup it out, then soup another low out. Then if you go for me, so our first low is gonna be what? This CRT. Second low is gonna be that push, so the downside. And our third drive is gonna be after you press that valid low, repress that valid low again. Boom, because the CRT didn't have valid low. So they had a valid low, but in a scenario like that. So let's just say in a scenario where the CRT low is not a valid low, and it's a double bottom, what we're gonna be doing is that I get to get first. After it gets first, this is the first drive. Second drive is a push down. Eventually, for second drive, during the second drive, what we're looking for is the right one. We're looking for is a valid low to be formed and make a high, because for a third drive, you need to go low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and eventually reverse. Right, so I want the value to get formed, then a high to get formed, like a lower high that eventually make a lower low and get the breaker confirmation, then reverse, right? Otherwise we can't, even on double bottoms. The double bottoms that have a valid low, we're looking for repurchase, then we're looking for a third drive. And if it's just a third drive, cool, we can take a third by trade. But if it's double bottom, double top, and there's not a valid low on a double bottom, you're looking for repurchase for a third drive rather than a double bottom trade. But if the double bottom has a valid low, we could just look for a setup right when it gets purged, look for the breaker, enter. And that is the lesson. And one more last lesson is to always mark out the key level. I must always mark out the key level. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is a Mace trade recap. And I'll see you guys later. I'll fix my voice. I don't know why my throat is hurting for some reason. It's not hurting. It's just that I think I'm dry, which we're gonna fix up. But yeah, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. Join the Telegram in the link description down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.